Okay, so I'm not good with storytelling, so I'll just hop right into this. I work as a security guard at Walt Disney World, or as I call it, the most demonic place in the multiverse. I used to work in the police force but got let go due to budget cuts. I loved working there, so I was pretty distraught about the whole thing. I thought if I worked at the happiest place in the world, I could recover, but I know that's a shit reason. But downing 2 bottles of Jack Daniels does that, so I filled out an application form and boom, I got the job. If I wasn't drunk as hell, I would not have made that mistake. When I got there, they escorted me through some underground tunnels to a pure white room with a table and one chair. They handed me a list and told me to read it and sign it, and here was that list. Hello and welcome to your new career at Walt Disney World, the happiest place on earth. Below are the supernatural and unexplained intervention team suit, rules, and protocols. Need to know items. Primary weapon, pistol that looks like a prop to keep the magic, but fires micro-trank darts. Secondary weapon, 12-gauge rock salt buckshot shotgun, not to be seen by guests unless there is a Class 4 emergency. Enter Containment Division, entertainment plus containment. Costumed suits that lead Class AF anomalies and cryptids into the tunnels below the park. They are costumed so everyone doesn't question it and thinks it's part of the magic. There are 3 tunnel systems. TA1, escort, distraught families and lost children through these to get to the family centre without breaking the magic. Does not connect with other tunnels. TA2, leads to interrogation chamber. Does not connect with other tunnel systems. TB, anomaly, cryptid containment and locker rooms. This is offstage, so this is where all spare parts, replacements, tools, weapons and anomalies are kept. While all suits have their own primary weapon, the shotguns are grab one and go. The only rooms are the locker rooms. Do what you need to do and then get out fast. You won't enjoy encountering them down there. This system connects to TX. TX, a giant underground maze designed to keep it out of sight. Only connections are feeding tubes and the transport elevator. We let it out of the park when it is closed for experimentation. We feed it, otherwise it will claw open the steel doors and wreak havoc on the open park. Connects to TB. Number 1. Keep your scanner on you at all times during your shifts. If you see an animatronic or costume character that looks out of place, scan it. If a negative reading comes up, call in for backup. If it makes hostile advances, trank it. Number 2. If you see a ring of mushrooms exceeding 5 feet in diameter, grab a bag of rune-inscribed rocks, place 3 in the centre of the ring, and don't look back for 5 seconds at minimum. If guests mention tiny Tinkerbells, use 6 ruined rocks and take the guests to the interrogation chamber. 3. If you see weird markings anywhere, call Entertainment Containment. They will send a Tinkerbell to sprinkle pixie dust / salt around the area. Number 4. If you happen to find a guest in TB, get them out as quickly as possible. They like fresh meat. Number 5. If someone complains about a fish-like creature in any of the water rides, discreetly pour cyanide into the water. Close that ride for an hour. Number 6. If someone says anything about ghosts, spirits, or strange sounds, close the attraction and notify the chief. Do not enter unless we say. If the out of place is in the open, call Enter Containment and be ready to provide backup. 7. If the music stops at all, radio in code 13Z. If it comes back and it's not the same song, then someone bit the dust in the control room. Get a shotgun and proceed to the control room. If the music does not return in 10 seconds, clear the park. 8. If any of the characters start talking in a very high or a very low pitch, call the entertainment containment. They will have a whole show planned to fool the guests in order to get the thing. Number 9. If any character faints, then they are employees in a costume. All employees need a 30-minute break every 2 hours spent in 85 Fahrenheit or higher. If the character becomes more lively in the heat, refer to Rule 1. Number 10. If anyone has a shirt that says Disney Security, you are authorized to throw them in TB and beat the shit out of them. Once incapacitated, throw into TX feeding tube, then run. 11. If one of the cryptids gets to a guest, trank the cryptid and call code 6H. This code locks down the section of the park in which you are in. Calmly walk to the nearest TB entrance. There are always amnesia gas grenades right by the concrete inner door. Number 12. No one whatsoever is to go to the old Discovery Island. That's where they come from, and they will kill anyone on sight. TB has a transport system that ships any cryptids back to that place. 13. If any of the characters start bleeding out of their eyes, call the chief. Run and yell at the guests to run. PR will handle the guests. 14. If any guest mentions a specific abnormality, take them to the interrogation chamber. The following is Siren Protocol. A. Siren 1. Audible only to security. Demon trap activated. Grab a shotgun if you aren't busy. B. Siren 2. Audible only to all staff. Exorcist is coming. / exorcism is ongoing. Distract guests with the free stuff if need be. C. Siren 3. Audible to everyone. Class 4 emergency. This could be anything from a dirty bomb to severe abnormalities to outright evacuation. D. Siren 4. Audible to everyone. It has escaped and it will likely be on ground level, so getting a shotgun shouldn't be too hard. We also have a couple of SWAT divisions stationed here, so it might be dealt with before you get the shotgun. However, your job is to deal with the Class AF cryptids, not it. And lastly, if there are 2 Mickeys out, radio in code 666XZ. This will result in Siren 4 sounding. Failure to abide will result in immediate disciplinary action. Signature. What the hell? I thought I got a security job, not wrangling demons. Then it hit me. I did this while I was drunk as fuck. Like, well, shit. Rather than say, hey, I was drunk when I did this, I just signed the stupid thing. Great, we'll start you out shadowing the chief for a couple of weeks, then you're on your own. Any questions? Yeah, where did these things come from in the first place? We don't really know. They first showed up after we closed down the old Discovery Island. All we can do is protect the guests. We tried cleaning the park long term once, but it didn't go well. Like, by cleaning, I mean clearing. Like, we had to fish people's insides out of the lagoon when we found them. Oh, okay then. Those 3 weeks shadowing the chief really put my job perspective into, perspective. On the first day, I expected some gruff, fat, oaf-eating donuts, but the chief was actually a somewhat attractive woman. Of course, we were all business, and I learned real quick that this place is hell. On day 4, we had suit radio into the enter containers that Donald Duck's voice suddenly got really low. The park has a plethora of cameras, so we found it pretty quick. I will never unhear that sound. I asked why the suit didn't use his scanner, but the chief said that DD was in a completely normal area, so the suit didn't expect or suspect a thing. We only had 3 more experiences in those weeks, and after that I was on my own, and I will never forget what happened on my first day alone. I was on patrol around Space Mountain at the ride when this unholy screaming came from the ride. Now, we have to do our best to not break the magic, but this was pretty obvious, so we had to play it off. This 40-year-old something guy tears out of the ride entrances and fucking sprints straight for the park exit. I played it off by saying, don't sniff pixie dust too much, kids, and then the chief was called. Workman, my last name, please close the ride and investigate. Sure thing, ma'am. I closed down and went inside. Used my flashlight to navigate because the lights are complicated. I saw something in the corner. Sorry, sir, but this ride is... What the fuck? The something I thought was a person turned out to be Goofy with a mouth full of sharp teeth. Goofy had sharp teeth. A cartoon character had teeth made for eating meat. Yup, said the abomination in the lowest, most demonic voice I have ever heard. Worse than the time with Donald. Luckily, I knew what the protocol was for this incident, but then I noticed something else. The cartoon character with the carnivore's teeth and Lucifer's voice was bleeding from its eyes. Fuck. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the chief materializes with a shotgun and blasts that thing's face. There were more loud bangs, but they came from outside. Entertainment containment's out there right now distracting the guests. I would have left it to you, but sharp teeth is something we've never seen before, so I did what I could. Let's clear out so they can transport it back to the island. Hold up. Is it dead? Nope. These things don't die. They just reanimate.